What's going on, everybody? It's John Eric Pola here to recap the opening 2 rounds of this year's Australian Open. I know we're now into round 3. A few of these players maybe that are in this video may have had round 3 matchups, just keep that in mind. But still, recapping rounds 1 and 2 by going over the good, the bad, and the ugly. And as always, we get started with the good. And I'm going to go with the 3 ladies that I think are really the favorites here in Coco Gauff, Aryna Sabalenka, and Iga Swiatek. Let's start with Gauff here. Gauff rolling right along. Even had a tough opening matchup with Sofia Kenin, which she dominated, made it look easy. Kenin, a former Australian Open champion, not somebody that would be lightly on a surface like this. But Gauff makes it look easy. She's making this tournament look easy. Gauff probably, in my personal opinion, she is the favorite, the front runner to win this year's Australian Open. Of course, let's talk about Aryna Sabalenka here. As you guys know, the back-to-back champ. Sabalenka right now, the early returns on her, going for a 3-peat to join Martina Hingis, the last woman to win 3 in a row. Sabalenka's making the case to do so right now. She's playing good early on here. She had a little bit of adversity in a round 2 matchup, which she came back to win it and won that matchup in straight sets. And the adversity early on could be a good thing for Sabalenka and her confidence going forward. Also, guys, let's not forget about Iga Swiatek. I know what you're going to be saying. If you haven't seen my previous videos, John, why is she in a favorites category? I like her draw. I like Swiatek's draw, and I think it's a favorable draw. I think the draw could lead her into an Australian Open final. That's how good I think her draw is. And she looks good so far. Again, early returns on Swiatek are good with the favorable draw. A lot of ingredients for a deep run for Swiatek. And then, guys, really quickly, because I want to get into the other categories, quick honorable mention with Naomi Osaka. Osaka, I know last year wasn't the best year in her return, but here we are, 2025 Australian Open, a tournament that she's won a few championships at before, 2 of these under her belt. She gets by Karolina Muchova, somebody that I thought would have been a contender in this year's Australian Open. She gets by her, also gets by Caroline Garcia. Let's see what she does here. A big opportunity for Osaka in rounds 3 and 4. All right, now, guys, we move along to the next category, the bad category. And I'm going to kick it off with an American who's still playing, but it's been ugly so far, and that's Emma Navarro. The reason why Navarro's not in the ugly category is because she's won these matchups here. But Emma Navarro, guys, 2 back-to-back 3-setters, one of them like a marathon matchup that was over 3 hours long. That's a lot of time on the courts for Navarro. I don't like that going forward, but again, at least she's still alive. Navarro, all the talent in the world. Navarro could still make some noise. She's still alive, so let's not get it twisted. She's still very much in play here, but still want to see her play just a tidbit better, maybe get a few straight set matchups in here to move along further in the tournament. And then, guys, I have one other name in this category, and it's somebody that I guess we're not overly surprised that she's lost very early on, and that's Maria Sakkari. Sakkari, at one time, one of the best players in the world. Now we see glimpses every once in a while, but there's no consistency there. This is a tournament I feel like she loses early on every single year. Does so again this year. Sakkari out early of this year's Australian Open. Now, guys, finally, let's move along to the ugly category, and I'm sure you guys could probably guess the name that's going to come out of my mouth here, and that is Qinwen Zheng. Zheng, remember, guys, last year was the Australian Open runner-up and ended 2024 on a high note. A lot of big moments, from an Olympic gold medal, quarterfinals at the U.S. Open, won a few tournaments and played well in a few other tournaments in the later part of the year. Qinwen Zheng was rolling. That I thought coming into 2025, now loses round 2 of this year's Australian Open. Again, the tournament that she was runner-up last year, a very high seed, number 5 seed for this year's tournament, losing early. Very bad look for Zheng in the early part of 2025 and in his first Grand Slam of 2025. So that was your good, the bad, and the ugly from the opening 2 rounds of this year's Women's Australian Open. Obviously, a lot of big names still in play here. Going to be a fun tournament the whole rest of the way. Can't wait to see how it all plays itself out at this year's Australian Open.